Hey guys, what's going on? Today is day 31 in my 365-day walk through scripture. Today we're not reading Hebrews. Today I've spent a vast majority of the day with my wife's family. I should correct myself by saying my family. We've been married for 4 years. Been together for 8. And today, we interred a matriarch of the family, Marcus. Every time I met her, she spoke of the Daughters of the Revolution. She spoke of kids that she has taught in the past. She spoke of how wonderful it would be if you trace your lineage to keep track of your family. She was always one to give you a crossword if you were wrong and a smile if you were right. Very short time did I know this woman, but it was heart-wrenching to go through a funeral for her. And just be there for my wife and her family. So, in lieu of that, I'm going to read a special passage today, and it's one that's read at many funerals. I want to read through it and kind of review it and kind of go into it, maybe talk a little bit more about some things like that. Alright, let's read that. It's Psalms chapter 23. It's a psalm of David. The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. He makes me lie down in green pastures. He leads me beside still waters. He restoreth my soul. He leads me in the path of righteousness for his name's sake. Even though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil. For you are with me. Your rod and your staff, they comfort me. You prepare a table before me in the presence of mine enemies. You anoint my head with oils. My cup overfloweth. Surely goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life, and I shall dwell in the house of the Lord forever. That scripture is used in funerals and things like that purely because it's a perfect example of mourning and rejoicing. We mourn because we've lost someone, but because God is there and He is with us in the midst of that, we are reminded that even though we walk through the valley of the shadow of death, we shouldn't fear an evil. We shouldn't fear death. We should fear pretty much nothing. Now, having fear is definitely a plausible thing because it's actually inside of our brains. But the fact that the Lord is our shepherd. A shepherd doesn't let their sheep die. They feed them every day. They shepherd them in a wise and courageous way. And why is that? Because in the long run, we're their food. We're the reason why they survive. God made us so that He can get the glory. Not to say that without us, God wouldn't be God, but just to say that He gets to help us through these times. One of my favorite parts of the scripture is actually in verse 5. It says, my cup overflows. In the King James Version, it says, my cup overfloweth. I've done that a few times. I've literally gotten on my knees and I have praised and said, my cup overfloweth. And why? Because without the knowledge that Christ is Lord, I probably wouldn't wake up in the morning. Like I said before, today has been rough and it's been kind of crazy. To stand with family who are crying and dealing with loss is a heavy heart, but at the same time, you get to see the wonderful life these people have led. Remember, when you walk through a shadow, how does it hurt you? It doesn't. All evil, all bad things are like shadows when you use Christ. Yes, you may get hurt here on earth, but in the long run, God's got you. He sent His Son specifically to help you. To remind you that He's in control and that in the long run, He's sending them back. Let's remember that today. We buried a lady who believed that Christ is Lord, and eventually someday we'll be there again and we'll see her and we'll see those who've gone before us. I showed you in Hebrews chapter 10 it's chapter 11, that we have a great cloud of witnesses. And those witnesses can be the saints that have gone before us. They're cheering us on. They're ready to go. And today we added one more to the ranks. Just remember that in the scripture here, it not only talks about a shepherd doing these, but also He leads you by calm waters, by still waters, in green pastures. He leads you into the good stuff. Yes, He punishes you. The rod and the staff are a good example of that. In the olden days, if a sheep got out of hand, he'd break his legs. And I'm talking about wandering off. He'd break his legs and then heal them and keep him in the fold. And He also would pull them back from a ledge. This Psalm of David is a good example of what God does for us every day of our lives. Let's remember that. Alright guys, tomorrow we'll get back to Hebrews. We'll jump right back in. Hopefully. I might go along with what Sojourn's preaching. It depends. Tomorrow we're reviewing finance stuff again, which is a phenomenal thing to review. Do me a favor. Go to awordforyou.org and join in. And if you want to join in the challenge, just follow my video that I'm working on and fill out our form and you can join in on the challenge and post there. I'd be glad to have you. And for the fun of it, if you want to laugh, if you want to have some fun, there is a new channel on YouTube called Fridays with Monday. It's Munday. My wife's cousins, there are 7 of them. Whew, big number. There's 7 of them who are kind of, at least 4 or 5 of them are kind of combining, and they're doing a like joke podcast type video YouTube thing. It's a lot of fun. Check them out. It's just a good laugh. And if you like them, subscribe. They do it every other week on Friday. Alright guys. Well, we'll talk with you later. Grace and peace.